And we are live. Hello, all, and welcome back to Fox to Fox Reports. What an entire week we've been having. Literally, the past 7 days, two victories. First one, massive victory against Southampton, and then against Norwich 2 days ago. Now, this is the pre-match review for tomorrow's fixture against Bristol City, back home at the King Power Stadium. Are you ready? Because I am ready. I didn't think we'd win. So, I don't know, we can't say fairly easily, but we had more possession on Wednesday night against Norwich. First, going into the comments, Leicester for life, always here. Ravadidi and McAteer on form. Yes, indeed, especially Casey McAteer. How's it going? LCFC Fox, my predictions 2-0 Mavadidi and an own goal for Bristol. Interesting. Okay. Jamie, let's not talk about Wednesday. Oh man, I'm surprised too because Norwich before Wednesday, decent start. I'll have to say, but we pretty much had numerous opportunities, not as much against Southampton, but we had a decent amount of opportunities to score more goals. How's it going, Harry? Dave 12, hey, another win. Let's go. And who's here? It is Santa Claus. We are so good. Our team is way too good for the championship. Not gonna lie. Okay, I won't go to that extent, but so far so good. We take every single game by game, and this massive gap we have right now in the table, I believe it's 8 points, or no, 5 points apart from the top four to fifth place. So it's getting there. So of course we need to expand that gap. Macadodge, what's up? How's it going? So, like I said before, two amazing last two matches. Unbelievable because the way they were placed, these goals, the way they were played out, passing, the Maresca type of football, it's getting there. It's progressively getting much beautiful the way we're able to just find those open spots, link the ball from one player to the other, especially in those tight, narrow spaces to get the ball through, but we do it. Amazing. But now, can we see a much more brighter, better performance? Not going to say that our last two were horrible. They were great, but can we get a much even better just football performance at the KP tomorrow? Let me know in your comments. And of course, if you are new to the stream and you support Leicester City and you want to hear all about pre-match review, post-match review, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Now, positives we take from Carrow Road. So, one positive, I believe, is that we don't let the atmosphere, especially playing away, especially against Norwich, who I did say before the match on Wednesday that they've always been a side where we always have struggled. 1 goal difference, but this time a 2-goal difference, and yet we had opportunities to make more, especially towards the end of the first half after scoring that PK from Iheanacho. Mavdidi had almost a beautiful chance, but it went too far out to the right. So with that in mind, yes, the atmosphere, playing away, all those chants, they're not going to our heads. We are still maintaining that level of just focus, playing the way Maresca wants to play, and it's going out just amazingly well. Going into the back into the comments, LCFC Fox, so consistent. Yes, indeed, Harry, very impressed with Casey McAteer. We all are, and he's probably going to be disputable, to be one of the top goal scorers of this team. So without a doubt, maybe even the league, who knows? But certainly I did not see that coming from Casey McAteer. I had a feeling we'd lose. I was kind of there with you on Wednesday. Like I said, Norwich, a pretty good side against us, where somehow we just seem to lose our heads against these type of teams like Norwich, like Hull City. But of course, we just went out and got what we needed to get, which were the 3 points. Love the passion. There is so much passion right now with the team, with the fans, with Maresca. Everyone just wants to be at the club, especially Wilfred and Didi. Maresca, fire, honestly. Duck, how's it going? Hope all is going well. And he Nacho doing good. At first, I was getting pretty annoyed with Klitschy. Nacho kept losing the ball, wasn't necessarily playing along with how everyone else was playing. But of course, with the PK, that's what we need. I'm not going to say it was a beautiful PK, but a goal is a goal. And of course, that counts. And that's what led us to the 3 points. So good on for Kelechi Iheanacho. Now, one match every 3 days. So far, so good. Yes, indeed. These matches where we have, give or take, 48 hours, if we are lucky, to rest and recover for the next match. It's going on pretty well. 3 points against Southampton, 3 points against Norwich, and now we play Bristol tomorrow at the KP. So certainly, so far so good, especially with the pre-match press conference with Maresca mentioning again there are no new injuries. That is what we want to see. No new injuries. Now, it can't say that's going to happen later on in the future. It's expected to happen because we are playing numerous games in a short amount of time. But as of right now, it's all going so well. Going back into the comments, yeah, same time, saying sometimes he annoys me, but he made up for the mistake with a good goal. Yes. Lineups, I'll get to that later on, but of course, I know there's going to be some massive changes. I would make some massive changes, especially given how some players are just probably have done their part so far for the past 2 games that deserve a rest this weekend, or at least, don't start. LCFC, maybe we should give Daka a chance. That option will always be there with me. He has pace. He hasn't done necessarily anything wrong. We haven't seen him play in any matches so far, so I can't necessarily be convinced yet that he shouldn't be part of this team. At least give him a chance. I want to see for myself. But certainly Daka has the pace, can score goals. So, yeah, I don't know. I would give him a chance. But yes, bring us Bristol. Let's see. It won't be an easy match. I'll say again, because Bristol, like Norwich before Wednesday, starting off great, have only lost, I believe, 1 match. And just going into their previous fixture results, last match on Tuesday, they played Plymouth. And Plymouth, you could say, okay, but beat them 4-1 at home. West Brom, they drew. Swansea, they beat away. They lost to Norwich in the EFL Cup, tied with Hull, lost to Birmingham, and beat Millwall. So I'm looking at the teams that we lost to, or the team that we lost, and that's Hull City. They drew away. Norwich 1-0. So kind of take it with a grain of salt, these past results, but certainly after the match against Norwich, I necessarily don't want to look too much on the opponent's previous results because that necessarily does not mean anything. The game against Norwich, I thought we're going to be just chasing the ball, not getting much possession, and Norwich really taking much more control of the game, which didn't happen. We had more control. It's like we were playing at home. We had opportunities to score, but of course we got to finish them. We haven't finished them, but certainly beyond my expectations against Norwich, where we just exploded, had just great football, great passing. So certainly I'm not looking too much or think about too much about Bristol's previous results, but let's see what happens at the KP. Anything can happen. We can just completely go in and just dominate. Or, of course, pull another Hull City where we just lose 1-0. They score a goal early on and we just somehow can't seem to draw and, go from there. Going into the comments again. Harry White, Bristol. Mac, I like Leicester. Mavididi will score, clip it. Hope so. Jamie, I'm sure you remember, but I'm not. I'm a Norwich fan. Looking at your past matches, I think you will win comfortably. Thank you for the confidence, but we have to be realistic. Leicester can be Leicester on the good day, and Leicester can be the Leicester on the bad day. We will sometimes even be surprised of ourselves on how we've been coming in form and then just lose, just play completely different than we played in our previous last 5 matches, especially being at home. So you can never know what kind of Leicester shows up, but let's hope so. The Leicester that we've seen these past 2 matches show up at the KP and just dominate. So we'll have some, of course, former Foxes returning to the KP. 3 former Foxes. First, the manager, Nigel Pearson, Andy King, and Matty James. 2 iconic names. Matty James, not really, hasn't done much, at this during his time at Leicester. But of course, Andy King, Nigel Pearson. But Andy King, someone who has been with us during League One, Championship, won the Premier League with us, returns to the KP. Certainly one to remember when he comes back. Nigel Pearson, what a guy. I know, some guy that does not care what he says. He will speak his mind. That is some certain type of manager right there. But yes, Andy King, he did have an interview with Bristol City. If you guys check on YouTube, there's a short interview about his take on coming back to the KP, playing against us, and certainly he does share a lot of just good memories. Nothing bad to say about Leicester City, just that it's been probably the best time of his life at Leicester, going with them from the very bottom, you could say, of League One to Championship to winning the Premier League. A lot of positive things he says about Leicester, and certainly will be quite meaningful for him. Now, I was looking at his previous appearances for Bristol this season. Andy King's only made appearance his last match, which was against Plymouth, about 17, 19 minutes in, but did not play in those previous 6 other fixtures, was on the bench, unused, and was only played before then the first match of match week 1 of the championship this season against Millwall. So only 2 appearances so far, but Matty James has been a regular starter for Bristol City, netting 2 goals so far this season. Quite interesting to say, is this his level? Will he be a threat to us tomorrow at the KP? Let me know your thoughts. Leave it all in the comments. But quite interesting. Matty James, for sure, when he was with us, wasn't necessarily doing anything, not even considered on the bench. Yeah, only saw him in preseason, but once that was over, you didn't necessarily see him at all because we had numerous better defenders on top of him. Just returning back into the comments. How old is he now? Andy Mintz. I think he's around, I want to say 38, maybe around Vardy's age. I'll let you know right now. He is 34. Okay, so younger than Vardy. Vardy's pushing around 36. Okay, wow. But yeah, certainly with his qualities and just with injuries and stuff, couldn't necessarily do much with us anymore at the squad and had to come down into the championship once Madison came up to Norwich, coming to us. Jamie, especially way. Yep, I missed them all. What's going on with Matty Vidua? Matty Vidua kind of playing both parts in the under 23s or 21s and the first team. I think, he certainly, his goal against, I think it was Huddersfield. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he has 1 goal so far this season. Certainly helped us get 3 points. So Matty Vidua, I don't know what Maresca has in plans for him, but his impact will always be remembered in what he does. So certainly, I think maybe loan him out for the the next transfer window, and perhaps he can certainly come on next season for us. But I think, oh, it was Cardiff, maybe. But I think Maresca, kind of just already has loaded, wingers that can, kind of are a little bit better than Matty Vadua. But no, it just shows us how much of a stacked, left wingers, right wingers we have at the moment. So it's good news for us. But Matty Vadua certainly never scrape him off. Obviously don't sell him. He's a good player, very young still, so has time to learn and grow. But certainly, without a doubt, in no time will be a first team member for sure. But it looks so much better compared to last year. Yes, it's that wave of just scoring your goal and then just playing much, much better compared to now. The first match of the season compared to now, Vardy is beginning to adapt to that system. And he adapted very well against Southampton. Norwich, certainly that sub needed to be made. Vardy needed to come on because Clichy was adapting, not really. But yes, we have found something, I think, based off these previous two matches where Vardy is slowly getting it. He's getting it. Not only, of course, he's not the Vardy that's going to be chasing the ball, those through balls every time, but can hold it and can wait for support, looking for either Mabadidi or Casey McAteer or whoever, we have on the wings, KDH, Harry Winks. So certainly Vardy's beginning to kind of develop into a different kind of player that Maresca, finds to the benefit of the club. Going now into other news as far as players coming back from injury. Conor Cody, there is no pressure for him to return. So based off the press conference for this match against Bristol, Maresca did mention that Conor Cody, they asked him if he will start, if there's a chance of him starting against Bristol, and he kind of said not really, no. There's certainly no rush for Conor Cody to come on. We have Fast, we have Callum Doyle, we have Vestergaard, who has been playing absolutely great, surprisingly. And we're pretty good. We're pretty good. So no rush for Conor Cody's return. Certainly, let's say tomorrow, if we're up 3-0 by the first half against Bristol, then certainly maybe a couple minutes for Conor Cody to come on, but no rush as of right now, based off what Maresca has been saying. Santa Claus says, I don't think he'll start this game. He will come on, though. Perhaps. I think there'll be some numerous changes there for tomorrow's fixture. But let's take a look at the table at the moment. How are we doing? I know there's a match between Birmingham, I believe. Let's just take a look and see. So, as of right now, we are in second place, and there is a 5-point gap between the top three. Well, 4 in third place, 5-point gap. So that's what we want to see. Certainly, we love to see that. And that, of course, that gap, just make it much bigger. There is a match going on. I think it's Bristol. No, I think it's Birmingham. Just give me 1 second. Let me just take a look right now. Birmingham versus QPR. That is underway. 19 minutes in. Birmingham is right at 8th place, and QPR with 7 points. Yeah, so irrelevant for us at the moment. But yeah, look at that. 5 points. That's what we want to see. And Southampton, oh my God, where have they gone? 10 points, 8 points behind us. And Leeds are where? Same thing. So to think, these two teams to be where they are right now, quite surprising as well. I thought Leeds had a great preseason, but, with that drama going on with their players and stuff, kind of put that on backtrack and kind of, is the reason why they are where they are now. But we can all look at us. We are currently in second. Preston pushing up. Ipswich also being those teams that are trying to compete with us. Did y'all think that, they were going to compete with us from the start of the season? Absolutely not. I didn't think so. but we'll have to see. I think we play Preston about like 2 more match weeks, ahead. So that'll be quite some game to see. And who knows, they may lose a match or draw, hopefully, before that time comes. LCFC Fox. I'm excited to see Conor Cody. Yes, I want to see what he does. Preston, dark horse. Honestly, that's what you can call them. Certainly underdogs there. In my opinion, Barty should start this one. I believe so. Duck Doyle looks good. Yes, and his long passes, superb. I think Leeds are back to normal now, but Saints still look terrible. Yes, Leeds are slowly getting back into it. Hopefully, not anytime soon, but they're slowly getting there. And let's go into what is your lineup for tomorrow? Who do we start? Who do we bench? Let me know all in the chats. And the formation that we've been going with for the previous 2 matches have been a 4-3-3. And it's worked beautifully. So, showing you guys my starting 11, what I want to see tomorrow goes with the same formation of a 4-3-3. We make changes here. No changes in the back, but of course, midfield and up top. So Callum Doyle, Vestergaard, Fast, and Chowdhury. That is one player that we have to give credit. I don't know if he got enough credit, but what a player. He will run back, forth, wherever you need. If we have to defend a breakaway, he will do his best. If he needs a yellow card, he'll get a yellow card for us. He just played absolutely amazing against Norwich. Chowdhury, the captain, the academy, that's great to see. And to think he'd play right back, more so kind of that defensive midfielder, but seeing how he's adapted well to that position, now we have Chowdhury, we have Ricardo Pereira, and James Justin. So certainly, once Castagna left, we were kind of thinking, oh, great, we're kind of limited on that side because who we're going to put? We have Pereira, we have Justin, but Justin normally is on the left. But who's going to replace Doyle now that we don't have Luke Thomas? Are you going to put Mark Albright in? I don't think so. But Chowdhury coming back and just playing that. So certainly we feel much secured with that back line in every single position. And up top, we have Dewsbury Hall, Winks, and Ndidi. So our previous match against Norwich, we had changes there where Ndidi and KDH were not playing. Instead, we had Cassidy and Agun. Cassidy, I think we all can say that, he didn't have the best of games. Kind of losing his touch, not really in it. Maybe just be a bad day for him, but I think we got to make some changes now. So that's why I put in KDH. We put in Ndidi. Agun, I'd say he played better than Cassidy. He had some chances, Agun, to create some plays, which he did. So, it's okay. It's an improvement. I'll say. But certainly not a right winger. I believe he played that position when he was in Galatasaray. But I think for us, kind of fitting into that role, similar to Dennis Pratt, would do him well. So just going back into the comments, seeing what you guys have to say. Hermanson, Ricardo, Fast, Vestergaard, Doyle, Winks, and DDKDH, Fatawu, Cliccianacho, and Mabadidi. Okay. I'm putting in Vardy because I think, he's just doing well and certainly don't want to sub someone who's been doing kind of fairly better than Cliccianacho in the previous 2 matches, to say. Harry White, Hermanson, Chowdhury, Fast, Vestergaard, Doyle, Winks, Cassidy. Okay, Cassidy, KDH, doing right mid. Oh, interesting. We have Fatawu. We got to give him a start. I think McAteer has done well, without a doubt. But to prevent any, unwanted injuries, I think Fatawu has deserved his spot to play on the right wing. He played left wing last match against Norwich, came on. You did see that that wasn't his position. He's a left-footed player. And if you guys, have watched Beyond 90 LCFC with Neil, if you haven't done so, subscribe to him. He did speak to a journalist who is from Ghana. That's from where Fatuhu's from, and mentioned that, if you put Fatuhu on the left side, he won't necessarily do much for you. He's more so a designated right winger. And we kind of did see that against Norwich. So certainly, I think he's an explosive, talented winger who can certainly do wonders and just needs that start. So I'd say give him this start against Bristol City. Goalkeeper, Jeff, Brendan Rodgers. Again, I don't know if you guys heard that, not doing too well at Celtic and already blaming, the fact that he had a bad summer transfer window. What's new? Goalkeeper Hermanson, Chowdhury on the right back seems to look good at that role. Yes, Fast, Cody, Doyle, Ndidi, KDH, Wings, Fatuhu, and Mavadidi. Yes. So Conor Cody, I'm kind of going with Maresca there. I don't want to push him too quickly because he is coming from a long-term injury. And yeah, you don't want to, and he's a good player. So you certainly want to avoid as much chances of getting injured as possible. Kind of avoid that because we are good. There's no rush right now. If there was a rush for defenders where we were lacking on defenders, certainly, kind of take that risk, but we're pretty good. And Vestergaard is doing well. We all can agree on that. Same thing with Fast, winning balls in the air. So there is no rush for Conor Cody. But certainly if the score goes to our favor, where, if we're winning 3-0 from the first half against Bristol, then certainly bring him on. Let's see what he has. There's no rush, like I said, to bring Conor Cody in so soon. LCFC Fox, 1844 says, Hermanson, Pereira, Fast, Vestergaard, Doyle, Winks, Ndidi, KDH, Agun, Vardy, and Mabadidi. Interesting. Okay. Not to see Fatuhu there. I think he's something. I think he could be as good as Adam Lookman in that right wing position, maybe even better. Certainly has that speed and kind of that mentality to take on players 1v1. So I want to give him a chance. Pereira, I think him sitting out against Norwich was a good choice because he is kind of injury prone, and putting him in matches that are so close to each other, only 3 days apart, certainly, would perhaps kind of major that risk of Pereira getting injured. But I am not, I'm not saying that wouldn't be a good option. Certainly put Pereira. That could be one, but I'm going with Chowdhury because I think he played well and deserves more time to play with the starting 11. So that's my decision, my opinion. Goalkeeper Hermanson, Pereira, Cody, Fast, Doyle, Ndidi, Wings, KDH, Fatuhu, right winger, Vardy, and Mabadidi. Yes, I agree. That's a good starting lineup. Hermanson save versus Norwich. Yes. Not just his save, but there was one pass in the second half where I think he was trying to pass to either Winks, and the Norwich midfielder beat him to it and took a left-footed shot. I thought that was going top left corner. Luckily, it hit the post and went out. I thought that was a goal because that was something that Hermanson was not saving at all. We got lucky there. And then, the second goal came about. Hermanson, Pereira, Vestergaard, Fast, Doyle, Winks, Ndidi, KDH, McAteer, Vardy, Mabadidi. Okay, yeah. I mean, I still think McAteer deserves a rest. Very good. But certainly, if we have other options, then, we can certainly put in those other options like Fatuhu. I'm strongly going for Fatuhu. Give him his chance. He has the ability. Trust me on this. Hopefully Maresca does it. I think he can bang in some goals if you put him on. But yeah, that is my starting 11. Let me know anything else you guys want to just say. Put it all in the chat. And we are now going into what are your score predictions for tomorrow's fixture. My prediction, 3-1. That was my last prediction against Norwich. I'm going again 3-1 to the Foxes. Bristol, you have to, you can't see them as a team that we're going to easily beat. I think that's what we did against Hull City, and it just went downhill for us. So same thing, focus, mentality from the start. We're playing at home, so we have that home advantage. We're coming off 2 straight victories, beautiful victories. So the motivation, everything is there. All the positiveness, everything is there. It's all about just playing correctly. Do not open those open gaps. Don't allow those shots to go in, and certainly hold your position, which I think we won't have a problem doing. So that is my prediction. 3-1. Duck. Duck says 3-0 Leicester. Macca 2-0. Yeah, I mean, trying to be realistic there. Harry White 3-1, same as me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this pre-match review between Leicester City and Bristol City for tomorrow's fixture at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time, at the KP Stadium. Let's see what happens. Come on, Leicester. If there's a goal coming in, I'd say from Fatawu, I'm saying that he's got to score. Vardy, and then perhaps one from Mavididi. So the top 3 from my starting 11, I'd say, is scoring those 3 goals for tomorrow's fixture. But like I said, that's all I have for this pre-match review. Dave says 2-1 LCFC. Hopefully not. Hopefully not that close. But I'll see you guys next time for the post-match review, which probably will be on Sunday. Hopefully talking about our 3rd consecutive win and reaching past the 20-point range of this championship season. Take care, guys.